Todd
Mr. Todd.
he sells things so well, and he comes across as a gamer and like this super super nice guy.
He is a gamer.
Well, has he played any of his games recently?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like at the
Yeah.
Olympics, the gold medals for skating. What do you call that? The X Games, right?
The
Yeah.
X
There you
Games.
go.
The gold
The
medal.
gold medals
medals.
for skating.
But like basically they have this one because they have like things like they have trick, they have they have trick, they have what's it called where you basically just do freestyle, and then they have this long ass ramp one where they go down like this massive ramp, and it's like a gap that they do tricks over. Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
I've seen clips
Extreme
like
skating,
not,
whatever.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like the people that do the big wave surfing or the big wave
Ooh,
surfing. is
Nazare
way
in
more-
Portugal
yeah.
is scary. Anyways, I'm Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm Kieran,
I'm Shav.
and this is the Underleveled podcast. Say it.
That's you gotta do it.
No.
You're hosting.
Trying to tell me what to do, white man?
Always has to go.
Listen here, boy.
Where's my gin and tonic?
Yeah, there was a clip of a fan calling an NBA star Russell Westbrook boy. It was like, I paid for the
Boy.
seat, boy. And the top comment was, you could really hear the hard R in that.
Hard R.
So the line is tech tips hard R or any hoosers.
Jeez.
Ah,
What are we doing today, Husha?
Yeah, how's everybody, first of all?
Yeah.
We've had a pretty slow week.
It's been a long week, my friends.
Yeah.
It's been a long old week.
Talk to me.
Yes.
Monday,
Monday was long.
Tuesday,
Longer.
Wednesday,
Even longer.
Thursday,
Surprisingly short.
Friday.
I can't remember. It was a blur.
Just the tip.
Saturday.
I just I'm taking the medication, so woo. If you know, you know. It takes some adjusting time.
Okay.
Meds.
On my side, yeah, been a busy-ish week. I feel like I've been focusing on one thing and ignoring a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But that's fine. This coming week.
Thanks for
once I-
categorizing us as a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, we're the other stuff.
Yeah, actually, I'm very excited to like finish this one project I've been working on,
Yeah.
and then just taking a moment to be like, okay, let's clean my apartment. Let's make sure all my ducks on a row. I need to do a bit of like planning.
Yeah.
Because I find I haven't been using my diary and planning my days and weeks enough. But just taking a day soon to be admin focused.
Are you guys very adverse to using your Google Calendars?
I fucking
can't do
hate
it.
digital.
I can't do it. I have
Oh,
to have
you
a book.
analog, eh?
Yeah, it's just, I have to do both.
I love my Google Calendar.
No, I love it. I think it's so cool to integrate all your different, like the ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Like that bullshit fucking hype word.
Yeah.
But like the
The efficiency
ecosystem.
of it,
Synergy.
Yeah, but it's super super cool when you get it done. But also I hate having to then like have to go into my laptop, have to go into my
Yeah.
phone to access them. I like just having a fucking thing on my wall, right? Because I see it in the morning. I know what's going on. I have one of those like painted chalkboard things
Yeah.
on my wall.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer not to have to switch on all your electronics. Unless people start sleeping with their flippin' Apple Vision Pros
Yeah.
on, they just
Oh,
wake
yeah.
up and see it.
I like writing, so whenever I do like a list, I write everything out, and that's kind of helps me remember as well. I don't know. The act of writing is useful as well.
Rather than typing.
Exactly, yeah. Because I do a lot of work on the computer, so this separates work from. Well, my to-do list and work should be linked.
You
But
see, I have the opposite opinion to you, where I'm constantly on the computer, so having it there and like popping up on the side to remind me of the things I need to do is like
it
best
helps.
case
Yeah.
scenario for me.
But then what if
Yeah.
you don't have access to it? Like, are you just...
I always have access to a computer, man. I go to work just to get like we have like certain sections where there's a second screen, so I get to work early so I can get to there and have a second screen.
Okay.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Okay.
second screen helps.
Love a second screen.
Can also be
I-
a distraction.
One day we'll see what a third screen does to my life.
You're
I
gonna
may
have one-
just
are you gonna have
ascend to the
one
heavens.
That's like
Yeah, I'm gonna do the vertical.
that has your
vertical?
TikTok
Yeah.
feed on it.
The Twitch chat.
It's just gonna have all my stocks.
I mean, I was thinking about getting one of those like ones you can flip and it's like that, but
I've had it.
It's
It
not-
serves no purpose.
yeah, two's
Like-
too much.
Yeah, that's because you don't have stocks.
You're watching the stock market.
How was your week, Kusha?
It was hectic. This third week is we did module 3 of my training, which everybody says who's done it is the hardest, and yes,
Is it hard?
it was
Yeah.
hard. And I decided to do the test early
Yeah.
than I normally do. All the haters said I couldn't do it.
Did you do it?
The haters were right.
Oh.
Good job, haters.
Those haters.
That was a struggle. I just passed it. I really thought I was gonna fail that.
Well, you passed it.
I just passed. It was a
That's
real
good, though.
struggle.
Because
I
it's
was
80% to pass. eh?
80% to pass, 1 minute per question, and I was like pushing it to the limit, like 59 seconds, 1 second left to choose an answer.
But you still got there.
Not like comfortably though. Like the last two I did, I was so chilled. I went into it with a Red Bull in my one hand, music listening, and I couldn't do it for this one.
Oh, okay.
I should have. I believed my own hype a little bit too much.
It's always, you know,
I needed to be humbled, and that humbled
It's
me.
the test conditions. It's that.
It's not test because I can write. You can write it whenever you want. So you can do it in the setting where everybody's around you, find a little quiet space. And I decided to do it in the middle of the workplace during while everybody's buzzing around.
I just mean like if you were doing an actual, if you weren't doing a test and you were doing like working with a client or whatever, you'd be able to go and Google something and search like what is the answer to this thing, right?
Oh yeah, obviously.
You ever think about like how we learn a whole bunch of things and then we have the ability to just like obviously check and reference what we're doing. So I think that's why people struggle with tests so much, is because that gets taken away, like the availability of things. So it's not necessarily that you need to rope learn and have a whole bunch of information like synced into your brain, which is
Yeah.
good, but it's also impossible to keep all of it like
No,
to
no,
have it at the
100%.
ready. So
But you want to get to the level where there's some stuff stared in that
yeah,
front that
no,
you.
you're right, you're right.
Like with a client, they ask you a question.
Yeah, you're like,
one,
hold on.
1 second, sir.
Let me.
Chat GPT.
You know, that's actually quite funny because that's basically me. My perspective is that I don't have a client to work with.
Not
Yeah.
as,
Well,
of
as
yet.
much. Yeah.
But
So
also,
maybe that speaks to my underleveled.
with your like career path that you're kind of on
Yeah.
when it comes to 3D and stuff like that, even if you have client work, it's not going to be this much on it. Like
Yeah.
if you are in financial services or something like
Yeah.
that.
So I think I'm projecting my experience onto yours.
It's fine,
So-
man. This is how we learn.
Oh man, I didn't think about it like that. But hey, you passed.
Well, now we'll see what happens in module 4.
Okay.
No, I can't. I finished up module 4 after the seems gonna be really chill. I'll probably write the test on Tuesday.
Okay.
Mhm.
Whew, you doggy.
Damn.
Get it. Get her.
Man, I'm honestly I'm just counting down the days till I get paid again. Because this last week, on top of that, the stress of moving, getting the apartment ready, fucking Web Africa and dealing with them.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my god. I found out yesterday that the only reason that they couldn't come to set up my Wi-Fi is because the people who were there before haven't cancelled their service.
Oh,
So they
those
can't implement
bastards.
my account yet.
So what is that like? How do you get a hold of them? You just be like, yo.
I had to message their like emails and like live chats just to
Okay.
get a hold of them.
That seems a bit.
So then I had to send them evidence that I do stay at the at the property. So I had to send my lease, and they're like, all right, this is going to take 3 to 5 days to process.
Okay.
Then it's going to take another 48 days for your internet to get turned.
48
hours. Sorry,
hours.
48 hours.
48
Yeah.
days.
48 hours for
That's
for the internet to get turned on, and then they said it's on top of that, it's 3 to 5 days for my modem to be delivered to me.
Yeah.
So that's going to be another week of no Wi-Fi. Yeah.
And how has that been? The challenge of no.
Challenge over. I've really connected with myself during the
Have
time.
you?
Touched a
Really?
lot of grass.
Touch grass.
No, I'm crying in the corner. I
I
can't go on
Also,
TikTok.
your
I can't go on
apartment is so
TikTok.
empty that it's even creepier because it's going to be like your one very fancy TV screen on and you huddled in the
Yeah.
corner in an empty room.
No,
You're
I-
going
I've
through
had-
withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, I've had no TikTok. It's getting bad. No TikToks. I've done a little flip page. I've drawn a little vertical thing on it, and then it's like TikTok now. My little stick man just dancing. I'm just humming the music in the background.
It's actually, you make money now. I think Kieran and I are volunteering to like go stand in your room and you get,
Yeah.
you know, those cutouts, those cardboard cutouts that people have at like festivals and stuff. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is my Instagram post. Like you get one of those to hold in front of you. You sit on the couch and Kieran and I act out all the TikToks.
I'll do it.
We're gonna. I've now got like allegedly a badass booty,
badass booty.
so I can be all the flippin' attractive people like twerking in your face.
Why do you
Kieran-
think that's my TikTok?
I know it's your TikTok.
So what is your TikTok?
Very wholesome content.
Okay.
That's untrue. That is untrue, you racist.
Allegedly.
Yo.
I'm talking
Booty. We're talking booty.
I was gonna
booty
say-
shorts.
I was gonna say racism, homophobia.
Ah,
That's
That's
all
what
who
he's
shoves
into.
TikTok, bro.
Sheesh.
I've actually gotten a few TikTok videos from you guys.
Yeah, mine are all wholesome. It's
Yeah,
just
they
cat
are. They're all
videos.
awesome. I think
Yeah.
yours are also
What you
quite
want?
awesome.
What you?
I got evidence right here, man.
Well, he's obviously not sending me those ones.
What was the most recent one I sent you?
I can't even. It's been a while since you've sent me. That.
Either way.
Anyway,
I think it was something that I actually thought was funny.
Okay, well that's rude. that's fucking rude.
Just joking.
so anyways, the console wars are officially over.
Yeah, Xbox.
Xbox is dead.
Rest in peace.
Long live Sony.
I was still waiting for an announcement.
this topic,
like,
right?
official.
I did some research on YouTube. Like I was watching other people's opinions and videos. The number of YouTube videos that, like Kieran said, there hasn't been confirmation from Microsoft about
Yeah.
anything,
It's all
right? But the
kinda-
amount of videos are like Xbox is over, Xbox is dead, the rise and fall of Xbox, like Microsoft has done it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's just using the craziest clickbait titles, and I'm sure we will as well.
Yeah, because that's the game. You gotta play the game.
Well, yeah, let's break down the news a little bit. So I think February 3rd was when the rumors started to leak.
The rumors.
The
Yeah.
insiders.
They were like, listen, we're gonna have to drop them. No more exclusives.
No more exclusives, yeah.
Snowden ain't got shit on us.
So they
Yeah,
got, I mean that's because they got acquired by Microsoft. Though. I mean, they probably weren't making enough money for Microsoft.
What do you mean?
What?
Who got acquired by Microsoft?
Isn't Xbox acquired by Microsoft?
Well,
It-
it's a Microsoft
always
product.
been-
Yeah.
It's like PlayStation
Ah.
is made by Sony.
Yeah.
by Sony.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Bethesda, maybe. Because Bethesda recently got acquired.
Wait, before we talk about acquisitions, because that's a whole thing, please just, what is the news? What is the leaks all
yeah,
about?
you
Okay,
hit
well,
us with the leaks.
Basically, Xbox is going to be moving away from making hardware and just be a third-party software publisher.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. These are the alleged news, but one of the things that we have to back it up is recently they changed their name of the game. What's the Game Pass?
Game Pass
Yeah,
to...
to Microsoft Pass.
Okay.
Which was, I think, IGN were the ones. No, GameStop put out promotional stuff for Microsoft Pass, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is this about?" And they freaked out. And
Wasn't the original leak that people like data mined listings for Xbox exclusives on the PlayStation Store?
Oh yes, because of Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield
Star Valley.
is basically coming to Sony now.
Right,
Okay.
so all the Microsoft / Xbox exclusives are potentially going to PlayStation.
Yeah.
And is that what then? And then
And this triggered the people to start researching, journalists to start looking into it, and
Yeah.
then that's when the leaks started coming out.
yeah, exactly.
So I think-
they've given up the console race.
Well,
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
again,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Do you think they're gonna make a new
No.
branch out?
No.
Do you think they'll go VR and just be like, we're gonna become the VR?
No.
console?
What was the recent VR release?
You're talking about the augmented reality Apple thing.
Is it Horizon Call of the Mountain?
This is a game now.
Do you know Horizon Zero
Zero
Dawn?
Dawn, yeah.
Right? You've
Yeah.
played it. I've played it. You know about it.
I'm
So
very
one of
grateful.
PlayStation's exclusive studios made a VR game for in that IP, and I think after it flopped a bit, they were just like, look, it's not super viable at the moment.
Yeah.
It's
VR,
a long way to go.
VR is
Very
just isn't.
expensive, first of all.
Yeah, so dude, so expensive.
I mean, I don't know if it's real or not, but I saw this thing where they had created a pad that you walked on, that basically if you walk forward, it
An
moves you back,
omnidirectional treadmill,
yeah.
and then you have a harness, and it's
Yeah.
tied to a ring.
So
This is
that's cool,
that's
but it's also
5-6
I
years
don't
ago
want
as
to be
well.
wearing 6-kilogram backpack, Ghostbusters sort of thing. I want the floor though, for 100%.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I want to get to the point where we just put on glasses and it's like, we're in it now. That's it.
Have you? Oh, this is a bit of a segue.
Glasses
but
and gloves.
have you guys looked at the Apple Vision Pro stuff at all?
Yeah.
I've seen
I-
Casey Neistat review it.
Okay.
If
First
that
of all,
counts.
we need to tell people it's virtual reality because I see a lot of online people saying VR. It's not
It is
VR,
spatial computing.
which is augmented reality.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not though.
different.
It's not. It's
It
not
is.
augmented
It's
reality.
unwieldy.
You're augmenting your reality.
Bishop, shut the fuck up. What it does, it's literally it's virtual reality because it rebuilds an entire scene of the room that you're in.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's
doesn't,
not.
though,
It's not
because
adding
It doesn't.
to.
It has like little
'cause if you're
screens
looking
that are
like-
coming up.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
guys,
it's like
it
you
has
see what
sensors.
you're
It
seeing.
scans your entire room and builds a virtual version of it. Have you guys watched MKBHD's video on it?
When I watched
That's just a bunch of letters you just said to me.
when I watched
Marcus Brownlee.
Oh, Marcus Brown! I love Marcus Brownlee.
Yes.
Oh, no, he's
So
not.
it has cameras all around and senses it builds a 3D model of your room
Okay.
that looks almost. He says it's really weird and that it's just a bit off of
Okay.
realistic, but that's why you can have those screens in place because it's built its own
Okay.
version of your
That
room.
does make sense.
Okay, so that's why it's virtual reality. You fucking tool.
So you're not seeing. Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
No.
I just know like it doesn't work on trains.
It does.
Okay.
I've seen people use it on trains.
When the train moves, it has trouble like picking up the, I don't know, your WhatsApp or whatever you've got. open.
Really?
Yeah, or your video you're watching.
I wonder
It
because
has trouble because it's like trying to constantly compute like a new background, right?
oh,
That
like
makes
if you're
sense.
looking at the window outside.
Yeah, and it's going.
But
Um,
if you're looking like in front of you as stationary.
So
yes.
I imagine if you look at the ground, it'll be fine, right?
Probably.
Which is quite funny.
As far as I'm aware, it has a 90 hertz refresh rate or something, which means it's like 90 FPS, whatever. I don't know. Fuck it. But like it is very fast and very like
Yeah.
smooth. But I can imagine if you're on a fucking train, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
like
refreshing.
your like WhatsApp is down there now.
Have you seen the videos of people using it in the Tesla cars and while it's doing Tesla cars doing the automatic driving thing?
No.
It's,
Is it?
it's dangerous as hell.
Oh, as in they're behind.
They're not even
They're
looking.
behind the wheel, yeah.
That's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Also, Tesla, like when you get a Tesla, it says in the instructions like you aren't allowed to like sleep or anything. You are still meant to be a fully active participant.
But that was
in
like a whole
case.
big.
Yeah, but
selling
that's just
point
for them
it, I
legally
thought.
to cover their asses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people do sleep in Teslas, I think.
So whack. It's so dumb. But
But
sorry.
I've seen the,
Yeah.
all I've seen really is the Tony Stark memes, where it's like the guy gets out the car with the
Oh,
headset on and
gets
he's
out
like,
of his cyber
Oh,
truck and
God.
he's like, da da da.
Never
So
seen
funny.
a bigger virgin in my life.
Yeah, well, that's. I just thought those were hilarious.
Anyway, circling back to Microsoft.
Yeah.
So one of their biggest new releases, Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
is basically confirmed to be coming to the PlayStation.
The remake,
Also
yeah.
now. It's not a
Is it-
remake.
Oh, is it not a remake?
No, it's a brand new thing.
Just a new, like a new game.
Yeah, so Indiana Jones and
Okay.
there's something I can't remember now.
Well,
but
there's
it looks
been
really
a
good.
couple of games, but they were made long ago.
Who is Indiana Jones by? Who was the developer's name? Do you guys know?
Honestly, I can't tell you right now.
I can't remember.
Who owns the rights for Indiana Jones?
LucasArts, so Disney.
Maybe
Hmm.
it is a Lucas. Yeah,
Regardless, all this like leaked info drops. People are making crazy videos. It's the end of the console wars.
People
like-
burning their Xbox controllers.
Yeah, there's been a
Oh,
lot of
dude.
Xbox outrage.
Okay, can we talk about like fandoms quickly?
Yeah.
Like all about fanboys and like the whole idea of the console wars is fucking stupid.
I think it is dumb.
Were you not there in the
It's-
trenches?
I didn't give a shit.
You had an Xbox.
Yeah, but I just like someone gave me an Xbox.
I was
like,
vaguely aware of the war. It was like it was happening in like the background of my
Yeah.
life.
because I'm still just enjoying my games. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a bummer that I can't, but I couldn't afford to buy those games.
Yeah, you're still
anyways.
gonna be able to play your games.
Yeah, I don't know,
You
but
still have your console.
I mean, for a bit of context,
Mm.
Xbox 360 is the only console I've ever had.
Okay.
You,
PlayStation
PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4,
and the Wii.
and dude.
It's just that's one of the greatest consoles ever made.
Okay, and you, Hushav?
PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, Switch, DS, DSi.
Okay, let's not talk handheld consoles. Let's just talk.
Switch is
Game
not
Boy?
a... Does
Yeah.
it still count as...
So Switch, I would say, technically
It's a
is part of,
handheld.
but it is tagged
Yeah,
allegedly.
you can play. Yeah, you know
we
what?
can make an argument, but
But I would
yeah.
say I'm a Sony fanboy.
okay.
Yeah, I like Sony as well.
Okay,
But
so
I will
then-
say, like,
Why?
I was involved in the wars, but I wasn't like
You're on
You were-
Reddit threads
what,
as
you're
a
a
12-year-old. Die!
I'm a
You're
veteran.
monster.
You're a vet.
I'm a vet. I get discounts and
You've
everything.
stolen valor. That's what you
Stolen
did.
valor.
So for like I didn't honestly care that much, but it's just fun to be involved in like arguments and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
You've been a shithead all your life. It's actually ridiculous.
it's the same with like Android and Apple. I don't truly hate Apple. I mean I shake my little fists every time
Yeah.
somebody says Apple and Android is better, but at the end of the day I don't care enough to really
They all
invest
have
in.
their plus points and
Yeah.
their negatives.
Yeah.
So now I want to like why would you count yourself as a fanboy? I guess Kieran like.
I would say there's a lot of nostalgia.
Mm,
There's
Just
a lot of
nostalgia.
growing up with it. Like
Yeah.
PlayStation 1,
yeah.
Okay. Or was it like
PlayStation 2.
you got hooked on
before-
it from the beginning, so you
Yeah.
might as well just continue with it.
Yeah, and I grew up with it. So then I think a lot of people have that sentiment where it's like they grew up with PS1.
Yes.
So the PlayStation was the first console.
Is it a
Not
generational
the first
thing?
console, but it was.
Because
like-
there were other consoles before the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
but the PlayStation kind of took over when it came out. You had Sega
Oh,
Genesis. You had.
Say no, Sega was failing at the time, so
Okay.
it wasn't gonna come over.
What were the other consoles before PlayStation? Do we know?
Atari,
Atari.
Sega,
Commodore.
Nintendo 64, and like all of them before that.
'Cause
Okay.
The generation of the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, Nintendo was. the
What
big
was
one.
that? Because the PlayStation 2 generation was when the Xbox came out,
Xbox,
and
yeah.
the GameCube. I think those were the big
GameCube,
three
I
of
remember
that
GameCube.
generation.
Was GameCube Nintendo?
Was Zelda
right?
on GameCube?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
GameCube was sorry.
Zelda was on GameCube.
Zelda. Yeah.
it?
Zelda is an exclusive to Nintendo.
Zelda is exclusive to
That's
Nintendo.
cool. Yeah.
That is what I said.
Oh, okay. I said isn't. Sorry. I misheard you. That's my mistake.
No, fuck you, dude.
And you can play the
You're a
latest
puss that
Zelda
like
games.
flipping PlayStation. I
You
don't
can play the new Zelda games on Xbox, right?
no.
PlayStation.
So this, dude, there's a whole conversation to be had about exclusivity.
Yeah, there's a.
But
yeah.
so PlayStation, what are the exclusives of PlayStation? What's there?
I
All right, we got Horizon Zero Dawn.
There you
We've
go.
got The Last of Us. We've
Oh,
got
dude, yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
We've got God of War.
Oh,
We've got
Spider-Man
Jack
is
and
good.
Dexter. We've got Ratchet and
Ratchet
Clank.
and Clank's on the Sony one.
We got Uncharted.
Yes, Uncharted's great, by the way.
I've run out of things in my head.
There's a. I wrote down
So,
like 6.
Bloodborne, Horizon, Shadow of the Colossus, Demon's
Oh,
Souls.
Shadow of the Colossus. Oh,
sick
great game.
Demon
Great
Souls for
game.
PS5.
So I
specifically,
think-
and PS3.
PlayStation, from what I saw, had like historically had some of the better performing exclusives, but in the age of Microsoft and Xbox, I
Okay.
think that's a completely. It's not even exclusives though because of Game Pass and stuff.
Okay, so let's journey back to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 times.
Okay, which is where I hopped on the back.
Yeah, so at the same time as this period, first-person shooter games are popping off.
Yes.
So you've had Call of Duty,
Battlefield.
your Battlefield, your Halo, your Gears of War,
Gears of War.
and Microsoft basically built themselves around Halo and Gears of War, which are very good first-person shooter games.
Yeah. Gears of War is a really cool story.
Yeah, and I think
Super cool.
that's why that gave them a lot of prevalence during that big part of the war, where because like FIFA and first-person shooter games, that's like everything everybody was playing. That was like the games.
Do you know that there was a title called Resistance that was supposed to be like PlayStation's Gears of War, where you fight aliens off and
Hmm?
it's a
Is
first-person
this-
shooter?
Was that Alien Resistance?
Not a lot of people know about Resistance, and everyone knows about Gears of War. So that's an area where Xbox.
Yeah,
has
so
the
that's what I'm
better-
saying. They had the better first-person shooter exclusives compared to PlayStation at the time, which is why I think they did so well during that era of gaming, where it was first-person shooters were.
What was,
you know,
what
the
was
things
the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 2 was the one that
PS3,
popped
yeah?
off. Yeah, PS3.
Yeah.
So that was
And
Modern
then-
Warfare 1, Battlefield 4, I think it was that time?
No, Battlefield
No,
4 is
Battlefield
PlayStation
2.
4
Or
generation.
was it? Was it Battlefield World War?
No.
I'm not that familiar with the Battlefield games.
I remember
It's
Battlefield
Battlefield-
2 was big because
Yes.
there was like
Yeah.
a
Battlefield
professional
3
scene.
I remember playing, but that was PS3. Yeah, that
Yes,
was
it was around
PS3.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So yeah.
PC, yeah.
So yeah, obviously, have you guys played Halo? Because Halo is a lot of fun as a
I
first
haven't
person
played.
shooter.
I haven't played Halo.
I think I played the multiplayer like a bit back in the day, but not much.
Really fun. So I can see why Xbox was prominent back then.
Yeah.
Just based off Halo.
Halo's extreme. Like Halo and Crisis were big. I don't know if Crisis was.
Oh,
the
no,
Xbox,
was Crisis might have been a
It was a PC
PlayStation.
exclusive.
Oh, no,
Crysis
it was
play-
on the PC, so
Might
it
be.
wasn't a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, but I played Crisis on PlayStation at my friend's
Okay.
house.
Yeah, Crisis
Uh,
is really.
yeah.
Was
really
that
good
one of the
game.
games that like pushed graphics? I feel like
Yes,
people
it did.
frothed over
Crisis 2 especially.
because it was just
Yeah.
so gorgeous for its time.
Mhm.
I never played it, but I know about. I've
Okay.
heard about it.
So what were you guys' staples during that generation then?
So we're talking PlayStation 3 time.
yeah.
So that's where Assassin's Creed started.
Assassin's
my...
Creed 1.
Yeah. So I got into Assassin's Creed that time because that was
I played
the
a
first
little
time
game
I
called Resistance. Anyone knows about that?
As you may have heard.
It's a fucking
Very
fun
got
game.
very big into FIFA and COD.
Modern Warfare.
Double prestiged in COD a lot.
There was God of War 1, 2, and 3.
Was
but
it
God of War
1 and 2 on
PS2,
PlayStation 2, and then 3 was a PS3. Yeah,
That was crazy when it dropped.
love.
God of War 3 is
So
insane.
good. I recently played the remaster for PlayStation 4. Oh, So good.
Yeah, I think I used to have it. Damn, I don't know where it's gone. I might have lent it to someone and not received it back. But yeah, great game.
I was still playing Ratchet and Clank at that time, although the games
Yeah.
weren't as good as they were during the PlayStation
That's
2
when
era.
also
Because Naughty Dog had hopped off and were
Yes.
doing The Last of Us, which is great, also which I loved
Yeah.
playing during that time.
Another
Uncharted.
Uncharted
PlayStation
also,
exclusive,
yeah.
And then there were Demon Souls and Dark Souls also.
That
I
wasn't
don't know if
Naughty
you guys
Dog.
played them, but that was PS3.
That was PS3, yeah.
Yeah.
Naughty
That's when
Dog
the
really
Souls started.
hard carried PlayStation if I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
What is the most recent? Is it Last of Us 2 is the most recent thing?
Yeah, Last of Us
Or no?
2 Remastered Part 2.
Yeah, this is...
Um,
Oh yeah, Last of Us.
Okay,
Bang.
so then the Xbox 360 was it for me because like I played the Fable games on it. I mentioned to
Yeah.
Kieran yesterday there's a game called Enchanted Arms, which is like a JRPG
Yeah.
old piece of shit game with big empty landscapes and very linear like. But I frothed for it.
Yeah.
What else? Assassin's Creed was an
Assassin's
Xbox 360
Creed, yeah.
for me.
Did you never try
Um,
first person shooter games?
It's never been my forte. I'm useless at first person shooters. I desperately we've talked about this before, but like deep, like real deep first person shooters like Tarkov in terms of like inventory management and that kind of stuff. I'm not talking game, but it's so deep. I love it.
When people say first person shooters, and I shouldn't be saying, but like Call of Duty or multiplayer,
Yeah.
like.
But it's just so something like Tarkov I would love to be good at, but I have no desire to be good at something like Valorant.
Valorant is so toxic. I tried it. Oh my god. Probably the most toxic environment I've ever been in.
Who's Valorant? Who made it? Is it Epic?
No.
Is it the same?
I can see the symbol Riot.
Is it Riot?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is part of Epic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fuck knows. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh, is it the same people that made? What's the other equivalent to that game?
Well, there were
Super
developers
popular.
from Overwatch that went over to Valorant when they were making
I
it.
don't think it was Overwatch. Ah man, it was one of the OG shooters.
OG
Where you had to
shooters.
buy your guns.
Oh, but that's
Black
CS.
Ops 2 Zombies.
That's Counter Strike.
Counter Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. So Valorant and what did we just say? Overwatch,
Overwatch.
are like superpower esque kind of
Okay.
games. They're a bit
Oh,
more
yeah, you
fantastical.
got
Whereas
powers and stuff.
not Overwatch, Counter Strike is like
It's
pretty
ground.
I used to play
hardcore
Counter
realistic.
Strike back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever get into like
It was a good time. You plant the bomb, dude.
the surfing, like the mods, like Counter Strike surfing?
Oh, I've seen videos of that, but no shot.
I think I played online for a little bit.
Back in that
Become
time, I
Magnum
didn't have a
Sniper?
PC that could handle Counter Strike.
Okay. Yeah.
So funny.
Oh.
I think
Um,
that was a long time ago.
But okay, so exclusives and stuff like that are pretty like important when it comes to the console wars.
Yeah.
But so, what do you guys think? Like, do you read it's actually over? Like, do you?
I think it is over.
Do you think it was even like ever a question, like whether one was better than the other?
I think it. If you look at like the history of consoles, something is always bound to give, and something gives way. I mean, say back in the day, we had the three kings of gaming: Atari, Sega, Nintendo. Of those three kings,
Nintendo.
no, at the time, the king of those kings was Sega. And look at that, Sega is basically gone now. They don't do hardware anymore. They're third.
Okay, so can we talk
Yeah,
about
so-
Sega and why people are often like comparing Microsoft and Sega?
Yeah. Because I thought it would be a good comparison also, but I think
So what happened?
for Sega,
Yeah.
they were a bit too ambitious. Because they were putting out consoles basically every other year.
Yeah.
They weren't allowing themselves to breathe. But their last one that they put out, the Genesis? Was it Sega Genesis, the last one?
Can't remember.
It was actually the most powerful system of the time between PlayStation 1. I can't remember the Nintendo system that was out there at the time. Xbox was just coming out. And it was the first console to be able to connect to the internet and you were able to play online.
Yeah.
So they were ahead of their time. But there were a bunch of other things that happened in the background. First of all, the Genesis stuff was way too expensive. They didn't market well enough in the Americas.
I know, but at some point it was outselling. So because it's from Japan, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, the Sega Genesis, if it is that one, was outselling in America compared to Japan. But
Yes,
I know
but
this is
it's
towards
because
the end.
it got discounted by a large bit, and they were losing money.
I know at some point, what was it? They reduced because they weren't performing as well as they should. The company needed money.
Yeah.
They did a whole bunch of layoffs. What is this? This must be 90s now?
It's
1999?
just before the turn of the century.
Right, so, or turn of the millennium.
Millennium.
But so then they brought like I think one of the heads of the studio left. They brought on someone else, and they did anything they could possibly do to try and get more people to buy the Sega Genesis, like reducing the price. At one point, the PlayStation cost like $299, and the Sega was $179, and people still bought the PlayStation. And they try to do stuff like with the internet connectivity. I know that they would give people a free year of internet access alongside their purchase, but people
But
like
did they have the games to back that up? PlayStation clearly
Sega
has
has some pretty good IP. Like Bayonetta is a Sega original.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
thought it was a
dude.
Nintendo original.
That's so they've got like some pretty. But that's
Sonic obviously is the biggest
so
one.
eventually-
PlayStation has such iconic like Spyro, dude.
Yeah, but
Alone.
you say that again, but look at the time, the two biggest mascots were Mario and Sonic
You know
was
what? To
bigger
be
than
fair,
Mario.
yeah, that'll never be beaten. That's like a gaming god.
Everyone
Like a
knows
gaming
Mario.
Everybody knows Mario,
Um,
but at that time it was Sonic and Mario, and Sonic was bigger than Mario, and they still failed.
Yeah.
They never,
Yeah.
unlike Nintendo and Mario, who have evolved Mario throughout the years while still keeping it very traditional to its core concepts. Sega were never able to do that with Sonic, which also contributed to their failure.
Of course.
Maybe Mario were like scared to really jump out there and be like.
To be
They kept it kind of the same for a while before they started.
Still, because like it ain't
changing
broke, don't
things up.
fix. But
Yeah.
if you see like the different Mario games over the years and how they've evolved it, they've done very well with it.
They've definitely explored every possible avenue.
Yeah.
But so just circling back, so what happened to the Sega then, when they realized they were essentially going bankrupt on the hardware they were trying to sell,
Which wasn't a bad hardware. It was very good, ahead of its time.
But the best of hardware, ahead of its time.
It was amazing, incredible.
But like they were kind of forced to become just a third-party developer, which is essentially where they own game studios and essentially publish games in a sense, and no longer compete in the game space, which is a fair comparison to what people are saying about Microsoft now, in that Microsoft is kind of just like they've had the Xbox, the PlayStation is outperforming the Xbox, Nintendo's on its own bus around the corner, but like over the past couple of years, fucking Microsoft has been playing Pokemon and collecting all these game developers, and it's like everyone's kind of looking at that and being like, they kind of different from Sega, who was forced to do it because they were going bankrupt. Microsoft is a $3 trillion business whose gaming side accounts for like 10% of their actual finances.
To be fair, I thought it was very smart of them to do that, especially with the acquisition of Bethesda.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be huge for them.
But none of them are even exclusives then, because obviously Game Pass goes on your Xbox and on your PC. So it wouldn't have been exclusive regardless. So that's why everyone is kind of drawing the parallels between Sega and Microsoft. But at the same time, it's different circumstances where Microsoft have probably been planning this for the last 5 to 10 years.
And now they're gonna take
these
their titles and sell it to Sony, right?
No. They're just gonna make games.
Yeah.
Microsoft is a software company.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Microsoft has PC gaming locked. Right?
No.
Who else is in the PC gaming space?
Everyone.
Yeah.
But aren't they like at the top of
Microsoft
the
is
game?
a software developer.
Really?
Well, like your Windows, dude.
Yeah.
True.
That's Microsoft.
They
I always thought
involved in
Microsoft were
gaming.
like the head honchos of gaming.
They're not involved in gaming.
They're one of the biggest like businesses in the world, for sure.
Okay.
But
When you think gaming, like it's for PC, it's Steam, Epic, your big publishers.
Think about like
No, that makes sense.
it's just for Microsoft, gaming is just another venture.
Yeah.
Like it's not. No one looks at Microsoft and is like, that's a gaming company.
Yeah.
Like Bill Gates is not out here fucking
That's
calling people slurs over the internet.
I'm just remembering when Microsoft tried to go up ahead with Apple when MP3s and when they made a thing called the Zoom.
What?
I think I
No
can't remember. It was
ways.
supposed to be like the
called it Zoom?
the iPod killer. I think it was called the Zoom or something. Oh, look at it! It's so funny.
Is it like a weird little squidgy guy?
It was a weird little thing that was like Microsoft. It was their answer to the iPods.
Dude, iPod was crazy. I remember watching movies on my iPod, a little screen like this.
Oh, dude.
would do it at
Like a little
school, just
iPod
like-
shuffle where you just like.
Yeah. It was
No,
amazing.
iPod Shuffle was
No,
the
there
one...
were 7 different iPod shuffles. There was one that you could like the tiny
it was
one.
just with just the buttons.
But there was one that was buttons and a little
Yeah.
screen, and there were like 5 different
It had like a
versions
little
of that.
wheel as well.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it had a different name, didn't it?
it was the iPod shuffle.
Yeah. And I remember, like, dude, I had a portable DVD player. I don't know if you guys had that.
I had that.
Those things were so
Crazy.
they broke within like a month. If I got my hands on them,
Yeah.
they always broke.
Yeah.
Mine. What were you doing to yours?
I was
man?
just
Yes,
watching it.
I don't think so.
Actually,
What were you
sorry.
watching?
So speaking of like DVDs and stuff, how do you guys feel about a generation now where you don't get physical copies? PlayStation still does it a
Oh,
bit.
I bought a
but-
few games that are on hard disk. So I
Yeah.
bought a few online purchases of games.
Right. So like with Steam,
Yeah.
with the PlayStation Store, with Xbox or Microsoft Games Pass, whatever, you don't get physical shit anymore.
I hate it so much. I would, if I could, I have hard copies of everything, but software only is always cheaper,
Yeah.
and there's always specials going on that where, you know, if you want a hard copy, you're at the mercy of whatever store you're gonna get them from.
Yeah.
Also, where would you go? Because we don't have music anymore.
Well, you go
Macro.
to- There's a gaming
Incre-
shop in Cabinet
actually,
called,
does- Does Incredible
Mhm.
Connection?
what's it called?
I know the one that you're thinking of. It's at the corner next to the hairdressers.
Yeah, it's not a good thing that I can't remember the name straight off the top of the dome, but...
Do you go there often?
yeah, no, I don't.
Because we used to have BT Games.
Yes, BT Games.
It's BT Games because now they're just more of a reseller.
Yeah.
But even I know that like is it Xbox Series X and S, right? That's the most recent.
Yes.
If you buy an Xbox, if you buy like the little
Yeah, you can buy a software only one, and then
like you can imagine buying a box and there's
Yeah.
nothing fucking inside. Like, and also think about music, Spotify, Apple Music. We don't have physical copies of anything. I can
Yeah.
see you have a couple PS4 games like tucked away in there.
Yeah,
And
those are the ones-
PlayStation still like releases. I was watching a video and he called it like version 1.0 hard disk things.
Yeah.
Like so often on Steam or whatever, when it's digital, people feel more okay releasing something in early access
Yeah.
or releasing something that isn't a proper finished
version.
version.
I hate the early
Yeah.
access.
It's bullshit. So like, just not having physical copies is so sad. Remember, like you
And
guys
also-
talked about
Yeah,
pulling out your drawer of
Yeah.
PlayStation
Yeah.
2 games, right?
And so the only also then if a game developer wants to, get rid of it, if they take it off, it's gone. You can't get it.
exactly.
That's why piracy is so important to make sure that we have these things.
I just say, like, to people, keep a hold of your hard copy stuff.
Yeah,
Just keep it.
Mm.
I mean records
Like,
made a comeback.
honestly, yeah, records,
They're
tape,
so expensive.
tape decks,
Tape decks, yeah.
I won't be surprised the
DVDs
next
as
10
well. Like, keep your DVDs.
CDs will definitely make a
Keep an
comeback
eye on the
soon.
DVD market.
I
Video market as well.
hate
Keep an eye.
DVDs. I can't remember who shared this sentiment with me, but like DVDs as like a medium, I don't like them. Like whereas VHS tapes and stuff, like
solid.
it's so like that's a brick, dude. Like you
Yeah.
could murder someone with it.
Yeah.
With a
And
DVD,
then
you're like a
still watch it
shuriken.
afterwards. You could, like,
Yeah, you just gotta wind back the tape with a
the,
pencil.
With the no way, not with the DVD disc.
Oh yeah.
If you threw it hard enough, sure, maybe.
I'm
but
100% certain in the next 20 years we're gonna come full circle and like V's Video and Blockbusters will come back.
I don't think so.
That would
I
be
think it will.
that
I
would
doubt
be
it.
more like a side movement, like we're cool and we still
Yeah, it will be like
we do everything on hard disk in this house. We don't do internet.
It's imagine
Whatever.
like DVDs and hardcover games being like artisanal goods.
gonna be- it's
you
gonna be.
walk in there and it's no longer the BT games kind of
Yeah.
like weird like splash art. It's just like guys in top hats and like really pretentious dudes like,
This
oh,
is
so
why-
this is a 1983 copy of Rayman.
1940. Yeah, that's why I say like keep your Game Boy games, keep your Game Boys, don't sell them, keep them.
Ah, dude, I was so dumb. Like all my past like handheld consoles and games, I was so prepared to just sell them when I was done with it,
Yeah.
or like give it to someone else because it was taking up space. But now I regret it, and now I want to specifically go to Japan to go to
Get
the
it
stores that have the original Game Boys.
How
Still,
cool are those
Do
stores,
you-
though?
do you
I would
do-
100% go.
Do you know
They
when
have Pokemon
I
cards and everything. Sorry.
like, when I
Get me so
moved
excited.
when I moved houses what was it, last year or the year before? 2 years ago now, yeah. When I was cleaning up my room, I found my 3DS.
Hey.
And I don't think I'd used the 3DS in maybe 2 years. I opened up, still have power.
Yeah,
And well, not even like little bit. It was on
that's
50%.
awesome. It was waiting for you
so
to come
talk
back.
to me. How about, can we have a LAN party with Nintendo DSs?
Yeah.
We can find you one for sure.
I've got a.
I'm sure we can go on Gumtree, find something.
I've got the Game Boy Advance. Does that help us at all? No.
No.
Well, I could just play it while you guys land on your.
No, dude,
DSs.
so sick. We start shouting at people like, Mom, bring us more
Get in.
friends! Knickknacks!
Mom, I said.
I need some chicken nuggies.
One mini pizza.
So, Timo, sorry guys, circling back around. So how do you feel? Like, do you rate, it's kind of like the end of an era? Do you rate, like, we're coming to the end of it?
Yeah, definitely an end of an era, end of the Microsoft era.
Yeah,
I mean, the console wars died off in what, like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. After that, nobody really cared.
It's been a losing battle for Xbox for a while. I think.
Yeah. I actually wanted to look at the numbers to see how they were selling. And, let's see, in this past year, in 2023, PS5 sold 22.5 million units.
Sure.
Xbox only sold 7.6 million units at the same time.
So a third.
Yeah, and I was curious to see how the Switch was doing, and the Switch did 6 million units last year.
I think...
16 million, sorry, yeah.
So what happened to the Xbox, especially, like, originally it was meant to be a gaming console, but then Microsoft tried to turn it into a home entertainment system, right? So you can have all your apps. I think the Xbox was the first one where you could like watch YouTube and Netflix and like have all your different applications, turning it into essentially like a desktop for your PC.
Yeah.
But as a result, they kind of, it stopped being for gamers, in the sense that like you would just have a home entertainment system. It was, I think the Xbox 360 was so compatible that it had an extra port where people were playing PlayStation through their Xbox and then connecting to their TV.
There was people did that.
It was just, the whole point of it was to become like a super integrated home entertainment system. And so they stopped making the top tier gaming console and became a home entertainment system, which, you know, led to its eventual downfall, I guess.
It just fell behind a little bit. I think.
Yeah, I think the way like you can
Sony got the better titles.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
about
No.
I think like the way you can measure is how they treat their mascots. Xbox kind of built themselves around Halo and Gears of War. Gears of War fell off. They haven't done anything in years. Halo, they've tried again and again.
Halo is still big, but it's like, they
not.
they did like a
That new one that came out,
new
Halo Wars.
game. It wasn't.
Was it Halo Wars?
Don't ask me, I don't know.
It
Halo.
didn't
it was a
touch
mess.
The magnificence of
Yeah.
the first couple.
But then you look at how Sony has treated their mascots. They see them out, and then they move on to something next. So you
True.
went from like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot to like Jack and Dexter and
Tomb
Ratchet and
Raider.
Clank, Kratos.
Yeah, and then they redid Kratos again.
Yeah. What else was
They did like
The Last of Us? They want. Oh, what's the dude's name from The Last of Us?
Joel,
Joel was always very
Joel.
prominent on a lot of their marketing
the
stuff.
Uncharted guy.
Nathan Drake was
Yeah,
also
he
huge.
was big.
So they always ride out their mascots and then they find something new when the time comes.
Well, ish. Because a
What
lot
are
of
they
their
still holding
long
on to?
well, Uncharted, is what
We had Uncharted 4 like what 6-7 years ago, and that was the last we've heard.
all.
Naughty Dog
Uncharted was big for PS3 back in the day.
Yeah,
Really?
That was a
Naughty,
black
When was the first Uncharted?
in the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Wait,
one.
how many did they release for the PlayStation 3?
Originally 3 for the
There's
PlayStation
4 or
3. There's 4 Uncharted, but originally there were 3 Uncharted, all for the PlayStation 3.
And then
And then
Uncharted 4 came
Uncharted 4 came out a couple of years ago. I can't remember if Naughty Dog did Uncharted 4.
And we can't
because-
forget. Oh no, this is going to be a bad example.
Okay.
But Oblivion was a big PS3.
No.
Was it not?
Bethesda,
Bethesda
which has now
was
been
separate.
acquired by Microsoft.
Yeah.
I remember playing it on PS3 though.
So
Maybe
it
that's
was.
just me.
Yeah.
No,
it
but
was
you
on the
could
PS3.
play it. But back in the, remember, Bethesda was, well, you have Bethesda like
Yeah.
Softworks, which is
Okay.
a big parent company, and then you had Bethesda Game Studios, right? Bethesda was its own thing until Microsoft acquired them a couple years
So
ago.
Bethesda are still with Microsoft.
Now
Yes.
they are, but back in the day they weren't. So they
Yeah.
released on all the platforms.
So,
So-
the next Elder Scrolls game.
Will be
Starfield. Okay, so Starfield, which is Bethesda Game Studios,
Yes.
was a Game Pass exclusive.
Yeah.
Which means it wasn't available on PlayStation. But as Hushaf mentioned earlier, there's now like speak of it moving across and
Of
all that
course.
kind of.
Yeah, so the units that Starfield sold were way below what they predicted.
Yeah.
So they are currently losing money on
Hemorrhaging
Starfield.
money.
So which is why now they are allowing the PlayStation and Nintendo to now
Yeah.
play Starfield.
I wonder how that affects the development of the next Elder Scrolls game.
That's as a Bethesda, like as much as they have like failed us. I represent the fanboys
Yeah.
and the
For
people
Bethesda.
that believe.
How did you feel about Starfield?
Okay, just worth clarifying. I haven't played it. I've watched a lot of like the news about it, and I've tried to keep up. They also are gonna drop like a DLC and stuff like that, but there was just like this whole fucking what's his name? Who's the guy that always sells so hard and then fucking ruins us?
Oh, Tim.
I don't know.
No.
There's a couple of those.
No, the guy that always appeared at the E3s and the
I
Gamescoms and
know.
stuff.
I know.
the
I can
Blizzard
see.
one.
I can see
Bobby
his
Kotick.
face.
Todd Howard.
Ah,
That
Todd.
fucker. Todd
Mr. Todd.
he sells things so well, and he comes across as a gamer and like this super super nice guy.
He is a gamer.
Well, has he played any of his games recently? But like, it's just the whole thing with Starfield was like it's a game I've wanted to make for years and years and years, and it's that whole thing of like what we saw with Disney and Treasure Planet, where the people that made it were like, this is something we were desperate for, and we worked so hard to get the approval for this thing, and eventually, like, Treasure Planet's awesome. And I brought that in where Todd Howard, he's talking about, I've been wanting to make this game for the last 25 years, and all this kind of bullshit. And then it drops, and it's like, there's some, like, nuggets in there, but it's that whole thing of an unfinished game. Like, it's not that fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
not
lot of
popular
story.
as
You
it
like
should be.
apparently the story is very good, but it didn't like integrate it. The gameplay isn't fun.
I just think like they're making it so it's like infinite planets, right?
No,
Like, is it not like?
and there's like 1,000 planets, but only a couple of them actually have like a
Yeah,
city or
but
something.
even then, like, just make 10 good planets.
I'd
I'd be much happier. 10
sorry.
good planets with long storylines.
Have you know who the people that
Finished.
made No Man's Sky? Hello Games.
Yeah.
Hello Games. You might have seen a trailer for a game they're making. It's called. Is it something Fire? I'll double check the name, but essentially it is a single, fully fleshed out planet. And Hello Games, who made No Man's Sky, flopped, but now it's a great game. They are bringing all the stuff that they've learned into this new game. Hopefully, once again. But just coming back to like Starfield and Bethesda and Microsoft. So Bethesda Game Studios was standalone, acquired by Microsoft in 2020, 2021?
2 years.
Somewhere there. Speaking of acquisitions, Microsoft's been buying up a bunch of game studios, including Bethesda, Activision Blizzard, which was a big one.
That's a big
They're still cleaning house on that.
Dude, so Microsoft owns the biggest, I think the most, the mobile game that makes the most amount of money. They own Candy Crush. Microsoft belongs to Candy Crush.
People still play Candy Crush.
Dude, my dad
do
still
people-
plays Candy Crush.
Everyone plays Candy Crush,
My
dude.
dad is like.
I thought it was like kind of like Angry Birds, but kind of just died
No.
off.
Angry Birds is owned by Sega.
Is it a Riot game? Oh, did it
No, Angry Birds is owned by Sega.
make sense?
Which means they were the ones that approved the fucking film.
Yo.
To be fair, the
They
first
don't
film
care,
was
though. They
decent.
just
It's not
want
that
money.
bad.
Oof,
Second one is ugh.
fucking child.
I watched it on the plane. There was nothing else to watch.
Trust me, there was. David Attenborough's on that shit everywhere.
So what has PlayStation acquired in the last couple of years that was
No,
notable?
they're very self assured in themselves and what they're doing.
Well, they've got like, God of War is still banging.
No, the Spider-Man 2, I think, Spider-Man is their moneymaker right
Spider-Man.
now.
Is their most recent one Miles Morales?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
They also have like the Souls games on there a lot.
I think
Are
the
they
Souls
exclusive?
are...
They're big.
I don't think they're
Some
exclusive
of them
to
are.
Sony.
Like they had Bloodborne was an exclusive. Demon Souls
Oh,
is
you're
a
talking about
PS5
Souls
remake
game, Souls game.
exclusive.
Then
Then the next Elden Ring's on PS5 and PC. I don't think
That's non-exclusive.
it's not an exclusive, but I don't know.
So what is at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
What is the point in still buying a console? Why, if most games are on PC anyways, and a console nowadays costs like 16 grand, right? Well, in South African rand, right? So, and you can get a decent gaming PC
Yeah.
that is comparable in terms of like specs. Maybe it'll be a bit lower in terms of quality, but you then have all the other functionality of having a desktop. So
Yeah.
what is the point in having a gaming console in this day and age when they're so expensive?
Some
Exclusives, basically. Like how
But
I'm not gonna play.
some computers are fucking expensive.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about
And sometimes you need to get like a beefy computer to run.
not necessarily some games, but even like let's talk Elden Ring, right?
Yeah.
It runs smoothly on
but
the
that's-
PlayStation 5.
It's not a graphical marvel.
But
It's
like,
a beautiful game.
yeah,
But they're
that's-
not focusing on the
you
graphics.
still need a
a
very,
lot of
like-
games that are coming out now are like graphics pushed. That's like
Not really. Besides the like one update from Cyberpunk where they've done like the ray tracing enhanced mode, then you need your like 100,000 rand PC.
I
But
just
I'm
feel
talking-
like
Like if you like, I don't know how much was your PC, hey? Like 25 somewhere there.
20 around 20.
Yeah, around 20, right? A PlayStation 5
Yeah.
with 2 games is essentially 20,000 rand.
So you're
So-
paying the
No, no.
But with your PC,
I see what you mean, I see
you
what
have
you're
your
saying.
monitors, you have your keyboard, you have all this stuff.
yeah.
What is the point in buying a console when you might as well get a PC?
Just to have a physical thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like I'll say, it's gonna come down to the exclusives for me because I want to play Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
God of War, but I think both of those actually might be coming to PC if I remember correctly. One of them is. I think God of War is coming to PC.
And so, in which case, like, there's no point in buying an Xbox at all because all the games that you can play on an Xbox with Games Pass are anyways on PC. That takes Xbox out of the running. Nintendo has their exclusives and they will never
They will never
they
let
will
go.
never let go of that shit.
I don't know. I guess it's preference then. Do you want a computer or do you want a console? Like,
Well,
I mean, do you
I-
want a computer
I
or do
will
you want a PlayStation?
I will say the
Because you
only
can do a lot of the things you can do on a PlayStation on a computer,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Exactly. Well,
the only reason
yeah.
I'm really considering a PlayStation 5 is for GTA 6. Because I want to make sure I have
because
no
it will-
issues whatsoever
Like
when
Demon's
I play.
Souls remake, you can't play it. I don't think you can play it on computer. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I feel like you can.
You can.
I think like when so many things are released on multiple platforms anyway,
Yeah.
PC is always included unless you're a Nintendo.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably
Like,
right there.
So
I mean-
if let's say I gave you 20 grand,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you didn't have a PC, but and I was like, okay, buy either a PlayStation 5
PC.
or a PC.
Yeah, PC.
You're gonna buy a PC because you can still do your work. You can do so much stuff on a PC,
There's so much more.
and it's
to
about
do.
the same amount of money.
True.
The only thing I could find online for plus points of like an Xbox or a Games Pass or whatever is that it's more social, and families with like multiple kids can have different accounts and pay and like get a whole and like this one mom, she was saying like her kids burn through fucking games and she wouldn't want to spend like $20 like every week getting each kid a new game.
That makes sense.
So that's the only thing I've seen, and that it's more social than like a PC where you normally just
Well,
have your desk and
It's
your
just-
PC.
It might very well be, but you can do the same with a PC. You can get online with your friends and.
Yeah, but like, so what do you propose? Like,
Yeah,
are you saying,
I don't know the answer. I'm just saying like it. I think it's
Like
just
on PlayStation.
literally becomes preference based. How much do you need a computer versus
Yeah.
how much you need a PlayStation?
so a 14-year-old kid
yeah.
probably would get a
Wouldn't-
PlayStation
Exactly.
versus
You're not
a
gonna
computer
buy. But logically, it actually might make more sense to get them the computer.
for the future.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
think it's just a generational thing. Maybe it's like our next generation of kids are gonna be growing up with what like PCs.
Who knows? It depends
Yeah.
on what the next consoles are
That's
like.
what- exactly.
I wonder now
Or they're
that-
gonna be walking around with fucking glasses on.
Well, there is
Playing
now a
VR games.
there's now a vacuum now that Microsoft are moving out of hardware. So you
Yeah.
never know, maybe somebody might come up.
But so this is a weird, like, you know how phones kind of all look the same nowadays?
Yeah.
Right? They all have the same kind of specs. It
Yeah.
just depends on what brand loyalty you have.
Yeah.
I feel like we've hit that point with major game consoles as well, where they've kind of refined and refined and refined, and we're at this point where someone either needs to come out of left field and make something completely new and innovative,
Yeah.
or it's just, you're just going to have PlayStation. That'll be your console, that'll be it. That's the only thing people buy unless they want a Nintendo game. Like, it's...
People always want Nintendo games.
There will always be another like company that rises up to try. I think.
Yeah.
I think there will be something new.
So do you think in the next couple of years we'll see like a bunch of innovation, or not really?
Do you think maybe the Steam Deck might
Bunch of
finally pop
innovation.
off?
What's the competitor? There's a Steam Deck and there's something else as well from Asus, I think.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what that's called.
But it's
I
like the
know-
handheld computers.
That could be next up, or like we said, virtual reality could finally stop filling in some of the holes there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, like we said, we're at the end of an era. We don't know where we're gonna go from now.
It's so up in the air.
Okay.
Could go anywhere.
Is there anything you guys would like to see?
From the next console,
Like, if, for instance, Kieran, like, if you were
VR, Skyrim.
Okay, so you want VR
integrated
to
VR.
actually get to the level that we thought it would be at when it first came out.
VR Dark Souls.
Are we talking like Sword Art Online VR?
Yeah, where you're in it and you have a little like shield and a sword or whatever you have.
Okay.
Or like, I don't care. Give me gloves. Make me.
You want it to be a fully immersed VR experience.
That's what I want.
Okay, that's what you want to see, and then like as the next generation.
Reaching up there for the stars, dude. Yeah.
Okay. Husha?
That'd be crazy.
Honestly, I don't know. I think like you were saying, it's reached that point where I don't see it.
It's like a converging point, right? Where everything is like
I don't want to see like graphics become like super realistic where I can't even like tell if it's real life or not. Like where we are right now is pretty good.
But there is still variety though. Like you're getting games that are more stylized, more fun. You have super realistic.
But you said that's like going from PlayStation to Nintendo, and like how Nintendo do their graphics and gameplay versus how Sony and Microsoft and PC do in general. Like Sony have such a distinct style. Yeah. Like I can go somewhere else to get it.
But style doesn't necessarily mean graphics though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when we talk about graphics, like I graphics isn't the first thing I think of when I see a game.
Okay.
I don't go, oh, it's got good graphics when I buy it. I go like, oh, is the game like decent?
Fun.
Is it good? Is it fun? Do I like the gameplay? Then I'm like, oh well, it looks good. And often games that have a better style don't have better graphics. If you like with the Souls games and stuff, they have really good graphics for like Elden Ring stuff, but it's not like they've taken it to the peak of what some developers do with their games. But they have such a sick style and way of building worlds that I prefer that, you know.
So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've mentioned earlier with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
There's a mode in the settings where you can. I think it equates to like, this is super fucking ridiculous. Don't do this, and you click it on, and it looks real. It looks like you. What's the name of the city again? Not Vice City, Night City or something. Okay. It looks beautiful. Every single particle of light and reflection is traced perfectly. Like lights in normal games, if you have a light here, that effect of that light will be seen all over regardless of the neon signs and stuff in the space. Once you switch on that switch, like every type of lighting will affect every different type of material in the correct way as it does in real life, which is. But I don't need that, you know?
No, you don't need that.
still fucking return to Pokemon Emerald because I have a good time playing Nuzlocke.
Yeah, it's like if the game is fun, it's fun.
Stardew Valley, case in point.
Yeah.
Dave the Diver. Minecraft, still the king.
Also owned by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Mojang is owned by Microsoft.
Non-exclusive though to Microsoft.
Yes?
No.
Oh, because you can play it on PlayStation and stuff, yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like, Microsoft owns so much of like gaming culture at this point.
Yeah. They might. Do you think they're gonna start to have to sell? They're gonna start selling off thing, or they're gonna double down with this third?
Yeah, they're just gonna. They're just a software company. They always have been. I don't know why they actually tried to get into the gaming space originally.
Actually, yeah, that should be quite interesting to look into to see why. I don't know if they just saw that Sega was failing and there was going to be a vacuum in the market and they could fill it. Because as Sega was failing, the first Xbox was happening.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, could have just been lucky that they like had this Xbox like in their back pocket.
We've been researching and developing this for 10 years.
Let's just see what happened.
Or maybe it was just America getting sad that Japan was dominating them. So the government was
maybe that could very well.
Yeah, the government was like, do something about this. Microsoft
like Xbox.
Bill, William, Bill.
Who made the Wii?
Nintendo.
Banger.
You look at those graphs, right, where you have the big three, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, or Xbox, whatever, and like the graphs of how much they sold for the generation of the Wii, which I think was the PS3 and Xbox 360 as well.
Yeah,
but the
Wii
U
was around that time.
No, the Wii, just the original Wii.
Yeah,
was around that time. Like you have like Xbox, then you have PlayStation, then you have fucking Wii. Everyone and their grandma and their like
playing Wii.
Dogs had Wii.
Like everybody sitting in there just playing.
Always a good
tennis.
Did you guys both have Wiis?
No. Still have one.
Still have one.
Never owned a
Wii.
Wii.
Can hit some Wii.
It's a splash zone, dude.
Yeah, dude. We can play Mario. We can play.
Do you have
I got the
Wii?
Winter
Do you have the Wii
Olympics.
Sports Resort? The ones
Yeah.
when like you had to put that little extra
Baseball.
thing into the controller to make it bigger.
Did you guys also
I don't think I
start
had
out,
that, but I've got the Wii Sports. For sure.
Ooh. Did you guys start out with the Wii like actually doing the motions, and
Oh,
eventually
yeah.
you just like
Yeah.
just
Who
Yeah,
did
it
with
was
your
a-
wrists, right?
When we're playing baseball, in the position, everything, lifting up the leg,
Dude, yeah, I
following
used to have,
through.
like, the whole
The tennis game was my favorite. I
was
love
fun.
tennis.
Bowling was good.
Were you making the sounds also?
The Maria Sharapova, yeah.
I had Mario on there, so that was good.
Oh, yeah,
dude,
Galaxy.
So sick.
Which did so well for Nintendo.
Who do you guys think is the most iconic gaming icon?
We say
Oh,
icon, we're talking mascots, right?
Yeah, essentially mascot. Like, I genuinely
gotta be
Mario.
Mario.
It has to be Mario.
Mario's got to be up there.
It's Mario or Pikachu.
Or Pac-Man.
Ooh, no.
Wow.
Who made Pac-Man? Was it Sega? I think Pac-Man is Sega as well.
I don't know about
Um,
Pikachu.
Well, yeah, possibly because Sega were the arcades.
Yeah, they had a whole arcade division, which is so fucking sick.
Well, there's
But do you
a
rate
couple
Pikachu?
candidates.
It's got to be Pikachu or Mario.
And that's both Nintendo.
Yeah,
Dude, Nintendo actually are very good
they
at
have
marketing.
such
What about,
incredible
like,
staying power.
Zelda?
Zelda as well.
But Zelda's not
Well,
really that
Link,
big.
Yeah, sorry, Link. Sorry.
I don't think Link is like that big outside of like America and Japan.
Yeah, which is
I-
ironic.
I don't find a lot of people
it's
here who
considered
know.
like the one of the best
Yeah.
games ever made.
But you like go to America and like the game is there, almost like every gamer has a tattoo of the Triforce somewhere on them. Where over here barely hear anybody talk about until Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Then kind of like Link, Zelda, and that fan base took off
Rayman.
internationally.
Let's go. Let's get Rayman
Ish.
tattoos.
I
Okay.
think
Never mind.
I wonder genuinely. I'll probably look this up afterwards.
Tomb
but
Raider's a
the
good shout.
most
Yeah.
no, dude.
Iconic gaming characters.
The most recognizable character in the world.
You know, I would put
I'm not
Sonic
gonna lie.
up there also. A lot of
Sonic,
people still
yeah.
know Sonic.
Okay, especially with the success of the films.
Yeah.
Well, relatively
Yeah.
speaking. But
Geralt of Rivia is pretty...
no, dude, you're
pretty
not
well
gonna
known.
like show it to your dad and he'll be like, "Oh, I know."
Do you think if I showed my dad Kratos, he'd be like, yeah, I know.
No, if you show your dad Mario, I'd be willing to bet he might not know
He'll
his
know Mario,
name,
he'll know.
but he'll
definitely know.
recognize
We used to
it.
play Mario when we were young.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
We would
so
play with other-
Everybody knows Pikachu. It's got to be Pikachu, I think.
okay, dude. So
I'm telling you, Pac-Man is the winner. You show any old person of any age range Pac-Man, they'll be like, I don't know.
Okay, but if you show any
No,
young person
they'll think it's an
Pac-Man,
emoji.
Yeah.
like,
Nah, they would know 100%, dude. Pac-Man is there. I'll
Snake.
get a Pac-Man tattoo, dude.
Metal
You-
Gear Solid.
No, it's no like the snake
Oh.
from Snake, like on your
Chase the
Nokia phone. But I don't know. Do you guys have any more thoughts on this, or are we just gonna wait and see what Microsoft does?
Yeah, we gotta wait for the announcement.
Well, yeah, the announcement.
this
The
is
official
all
announcement,
allegedly.
yeah.
The announcement should be coming this week.
We don't know if this is the truth. We're not, yeah, we don't speak the true truth.
We don't speak the truth.
But looking at those sales numbers, you know, it speaks
It speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
What sales numbers?
of the Xbox One over the past year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I looked at the total numbers since they released the Xbox One. They're not great either. I don't have the exact numbers, but they weren't good compared to the other two big games, consoles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on the console wars. After a long time in the trenches, finally won. We defeated Bjorn.
We did,
Okay,
yeah.
Once
hold
again,
on.
Bjorn
No,
is
no, wait.
Bjorn and his
Still
people
clinging
are
on.
0 and 3.
Okay, first of all, disrespectful. Second of all, you can't combine two major wars in history with the console war, which I wasn't a part of. I just said I had an Xbox.
As soon as you ditch the Japanese, they
Wow.
beat you.
Those bastards.
Anyways, that's been this week's podcast. I'm
Yeah.
Musharraf.
I'm Kieran.
I'm Bjorn.
Until next time.
Thank you for watching.